first met Greg, it was at my dad's church. I was 14. I always had a crush on him. He's 10 years older than me. After church, there was like a little bench area, so sometimes I'll sit back there and like talk to him after church or stuff like that. But, you know, he was at our church for a while and then he was gone. At that time, I didn't know why. I do remember, like, over the years, you know, here and there, he was incarcerated, things like that, but I never, you know, knew what for. And then I didn't see him again until when I was in my 30s. When my dad became a pastor, he became involved with parolees, and that's how he reconnected with Greg. My dad helped Greg reintegrate when he got out of prison.
He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to have understanding.
I was at church, and I remember he was probably sitting like a couple rows ahead of me. Still had that same, you know, how those little butterflies come up, the same thing again. I'm like, oh God, I'm like, he's, you know, still handsome.
He reveals deep and hidden things.
And then I talked to him after church, and that's how things started progressing.
Greg.
Yeah?
It's been a while. You probably don't remember me.
First, he didn't even know who I was until I told him.
Oh my God, Faith? Oh, wow.
And then he was like, oh, you know, you're all grown up now and things like that.
Hey, Mom, we're hungry.
I had 2 children, and I was single. Kara and Chadney, I think they were about 8 and 10 at the time.
So you're a mom now?
Yeah. Kara, Chadney, this is Greg.
Gregory, he was really good with Kara and Chadney. He definitely seemed charming and acted like a gentleman. I definitely felt like I could be in a relationship with Greg. Eventually, I let him move in with me, and things were going good. To be honest, I didn't ask my dad about any of like the parolee things. I know there are people that, you know, that have a past and they change or they try to have a better life for themselves. But if I knew the whole story, I wouldn't have even given him a chance of dating him. I just would have went the other way, you know. When Greg and I started our relationship, it just felt normal. I knew at that point he had been incarcerated. He didn't go into detail. And I remember trying to find out like more information. I couldn't find anything. The story that I was aware of and everyone in the community knew was that it was just self-defense, and that's what everyone believed. We didn't really talk about it that much until I asked him what happened.
Do you mind if I ask you something?
He didn't really go into like detail too much.
What do you want to know?
I want to know what happened.
Gregory and his ex-wife, they were arguing and pushing each other.
Things got out of hand.
And when he pushed her, she fell and hit her head. And she did die. But he just said it was self-defense. He was just trying to keep her from hitting him. And I thought that was the truth. I didn't really know what to make of it. I never really pushed him. I just felt like he just wanted to put it out of his mind. I think I just was like, okay, he doesn't want to talk about this.
Could we just drop it?
Sure, of course.
I probably should have dug a little bit more, but I guess at that time I didn't want to overwhelm him. I didn't have any reason not to believe Greg. Greg just really seemed laid back, quiet, like he wouldn't hurt a fly. I also felt like if it was like really bad, they wouldn't let him out. In the beginning, I just thought that Greg was, you know, quiet, maybe a little shy, introverted. I didn't think he was keeping any secrets from me. Looking back, I definitely felt like there were signs. I just didn't recognize them. At one point, I do remember feeling like a little uneasy, but I didn't know why. I definitely felt like Greg was very quiet, like too quiet. I always felt like that was weird for someone not to want to talk at all. Even with people that are introverted or shy, they talk a little bit. But with Gregory, it wasn't something that he did that gave me a bad feeling. It was just like a thought, maybe an intuition or a gut feeling. And like something wasn't right, like the vibe was off, and I didn't really know what it was.
I'm gonna go to the kitchen and grab some drinks. You want some?
His personality would change, like one time we're sitting on the couch. I just go in the room for a second, come back, and he's just like in a whole nother mood. And I'm like, well, what happened from the time I left the living room to go to the bedroom and come back?
You okay?
Fine.
I think that was probably like the beginning of whatever was going on inside of him, or him trying to control how he really was.
Did I do something?
No.
You gotta talk to me.
Didn't I say I'm fine?
I just remember having a feeling like, something's wrong. I don't really know how to describe it, but I couldn't see anything wrong. I just knew I had that feeling. That's basically when I broke everything off with Gregory. I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I just knew at that time like something didn't feel right. Gregory and I went our separate ways, and shortly after that, I found out I was pregnant with Coy. Once I got pregnant with Coy, that's when I gave it another chance. Gregory definitely seemed like he was ready to commit. He seemed happy and seemed like he was ready to do this. The first time I remember seeing Greg's temper is when he was hanging the curtain rod.
Come on.
When he moved in with me, I asked him to hang some curtains for me. And while he was trying to hang the curtains, he was having a hard time.
Damn it.
I didn't look at it as if it was a red flag or anything, but I remember Kara saying to me, like, Mom, why is he so angry?
Faith bring this stupid, useless junk home, and now I'm stuck with it.
And I just said, well, sometimes when people, are trying to do things and they get frustrated, they handle things a different way.
She seems so mad.
To me, it just seemed like a normal thing, but Kara saw something different.
People respond to things differently. He's just a little frustrated, that's all.
She saw something more than what I saw. His anger was showing through, and I just couldn't see it.
What? Y'all gonna stand there and watch me, or you gonna come help?
Okay.
When you play it back in your mind, that sticks out in your head. I didn't really see anger. Maybe I was just blinded at that time, but I didn't see that. She saw something completely different than I did.
How am I gonna put this? You gotta flip it.
You handed it to me this way.
Looking back now, I definitely feel like she was onto something. And then I learned later by reading her diary that she always had a feeling about him, that something wasn't right. This is Kara's diary. On this page, it says, I don't like Greg. Mom's obsessed with him. Something doesn't seem right about Greg. And they're talking about getting married. I don't want to call him Dad. It's like everyone loves him but me. It just doesn't seem like he's, I can't even explain it. I never knew, this is how she felt. I don't really remember her, really expressing that she didn't like him or didn't want to be around him. It does make me think and question why she felt like, she couldn't come to me. I just wish that I was able at that time to, talk more with her about her feelings. Looking back now, she just knew something was off with him. Coy was born October 28th, 2010. When Coy was born, Greg was really happy, but it didn't last long. We got married in December of 2010, and he seemed like he was just so detached. I think by having children definitely triggered something in Greg. He always said he wanted kids. Maybe Greg thought he wanted kids, and then when we started having children, maybe Greg felt like, maybe this isn't what I want. I felt like he was going through something. I don't know what it was, but he didn't want to talk about it. I don't know what he was struggling with, but it worried me. I was actually planning to leave him until I found out I was pregnant again. So then I was like, well, I'm gonna try to make it work. Kaylee was born September 5th, 2012. After I had Kaylee, he was acting strange, even like when I was in the hospital. And then once I brought Kaylee home, he just didn't really want anything to do with her.
I know. I'm coming, little baby.
He just was distant.
Greg, can you help me? At least see if one of them needs to be changed. Greg.
When I asked him, like, what's wrong? He said he wanted a boy. And I'm like, well, you have a girl. Be happy. She's healthy. And there's nothing wrong with her. So, we're going to just love her anyway.
Are you even listening to me? Hello?
Even though it bothered me, I just said I'll just, give him his space and let him be. Looking back at Greg's behavior now, it's definitely a red flag because there was just like personality changes. Not really knowing like who you're dealing with, if that makes sense. I started seeing changes, things that I was uncomfortable with, and I didn't understand why they were happening. I remember one time Kaylee came into the room with a loaf of bread because she wanted bread and butter. So I said, well, give me a minute, because I was in the middle of doing something. I said, go put the bread back on the counter, and I'll be in there in just a second to make you a sandwich. So when I come into the kitchen, she smushed the bread.
What the hell is this? Did you do this? Answer me.
So next thing I know, he just takes his hand and like backslaps the crap like out of her thigh. Like it was so loud.
Use your brain. Think before you do things.
There was times he was just mean to her.
Hey! What the hell is wrong with you?
She just took off running into her room, and I just remember just going off and cursing at him.
If you ever hit her like that again, I'm taking these girls and we leaving.
Now I remember Coy was sitting there. She was really, really scared. She felt his anger. I know she didn't like seeing him when his temper would come out. I know that really made her, scared. She just stood there, thinking back about what happened. I definitely feel like Coy probably seen his anger before.
Don't be scared, okay?
Sometimes I would just catch her, just sitting, biting her nails. That was her go-to habit. I definitely think by her biting her nails that Coy was scared of her father's temper. Because prior to that, she wasn't biting her nails. He never apologized. I don't ever remember him saying sorry. I was thinking about getting all of us counseling because I felt like you can't really stay in a bad situation. I think I wanted to leave, but I couldn't leave. And I just said, I'm just going to save money so I can move. That was the beginning part for me to start preparing to leave. I remember coming home from work, and immediately, as soon as I opened the door, I smelled gas. And you can see the stove, and I see the knobs are turned. I'm thinking in my head, like, what the heck is going on? I'm thinking, like, can he not smell the gas? Because I'm like, I can smell it coming into the house.
What is going on around here?
He's in the living room. He was just sitting on the couch, like, just sitting there. I'm like, how can you sit there with gas smelling? And then he tried to say, well, maybe Kara left it, turned the knob on, or maybe Coy did it.
They all know not to touch that stove.
He just was trying to insinuate that the kids were doing this, and I'm like, no, it couldn't have been.
What are you talking about, Greg? You're not making any sense.
And then after, going back and forth, then he was like, well, I turned the gas on, and he had said to me that he was, thinking about killing himself.
I just think it's better to end it all anyways.
But I'm like, why would you do that? What's so bad, that you want to kill yourself? I tried to get him to explain more, but he wouldn't. I didn't even know what to think or say, so I just tried to be calm. That really scared me, because I was thinking, what if I came home, the house blew up already?
If you don't want to be here, then fine.
I'm like, if you want to do something like that, go somewhere else and do it, not with our kids.
What if the girls got sick from it? Huh? Do you even care about that?
That wasn't even a concern to him. Whatever he was thinking in his head, he didn't care. What do I do now? After the gas incident, I couldn't sleep. At this point, I feel like, things are getting out of control. It was even more clear, that I needed to leave. I just wish I had a chance to leave sooner. Looking back, I definitely think that day with the gas, that was Gregory's first attempt of putting plans into motion. We had decided to take the kids to the water park. We just took the girls with us. The older two wanted to do something different, so we just took the little ones with us. Just Coy and Kaylee. We're there, we're having a good time. So we're at breakfast. Then he says to me, you know what? What if it was just the four of us?
It would be nice if it was like this always, don't you think?
What you mean?
If it could just be us four together.
When Gregory said that he just meant the girls and I and him without Kara and Chadney, I just kind of look at him like, oh, it's not the four of us. Why would you say that?
What about Kara and Chadney?
These are my children, not going anywhere.
What you want me to do with them? Just send them away?
I think he didn't want Kara around. Kara was just the type, she didn't hold her tongue for anything. She always voiced her opinion, but it was a little different with Chadney. Chadney was older. He always seemed like he liked Chadney. So my son really took a liking to him. When Gregory said that he wanted it to be just the four of us, it really bothered me. I couldn't understand him even asking me that. How dare you? I was very offended.
There's 6 of us, not 4.
And basically, I just told him, get that out of your head, because it's the 6 of us.
Just understand that we are all a family.
He didn't like that response. I didn't really know at the time what that was about. But, looking back, I definitely think that Greg was coming up with a plan, so it could be just the 4 of us. As time went on, Gregory proceeded to get angrier and angrier. It was getting worse.
We're supposed to be in this together.
When he got to the point where he knew we were drifting apart, that's when it seemed like his anger would escalate even more.
I can't raise 4 kids by myself.
Told you, leave me alone, babe.
And I just remember him just getting in my face and I'm back against the wall.
Greg, stop!
Another time, he wakes me up when I'm asleep, preventing me from sleeping. That was a form of torment. I did feel fearful one night. I remember I was sleeping in the bed, and I remember having my bathrobe on. I just said, well, just to protect myself, I'm gonna put these pencils in my bathrobe pocket. If Gregory was to do something to me and wake me up out of my sleep and try to grab me, then I have these pencils to jab him with. That night I felt like he could have got physical. After that, I knew I had to leave. It was just one thing after the next. the more I would think this is not what I signed up for. I know that I couldn't stay there. I just got a vibe from him, and I was just like, I need to leave. The kids were like, Mom, when are we leaving? And I just kept reassuring them that on the last day of school, we're leaving. We packed the house up probably within 2 hours and left. And I called Greg to let him know that I had moved out. I remember him being mad, and I think he hung up on me, and then the next thing I knew, he turned off our cell phones. Gregory reached out to me stating that, he wanted to see the girls. But when we first decided to meet up, he wanted to meet in like isolated places where it was like nobody there. That definitely made me uncomfortable. And I remember looking around one day like, there's nobody here. He keeps trying to pick places where nobody's at. And I did have the thought like, what if something was to happen? I didn't trust Greg. If Gregory wanted to do something to me or to the girls, no one would see anything. At one point, he did make me feel like he was gonna take them.
Mommy, where's Daddy?
I don't know.
So I decided to, make a change, and I found a place where Gregory and I could meet in a shopping plaza because there's a lot of people around. Once I changed the location, I felt a lot more safer. But Greg was spiraling out of control, and I just didn't know how bad it was. Greg and I were separated probably about 2 years, so it'd been, some time that we hadn't been together. He had a lawyer, and I had a lawyer. Before everything was finalized, he was trying to communicate more. He was talking to me more, so that's how it started. He definitely seemed calmer, like he was trying to be more patient, more loving. He wanted all of us to be a family, sound really convincing. I felt like he was gonna make an effort, a true effort this time. We were thinking about trying to work things out, and we stopped the divorce. We moved back together. But after a couple months, and I could see that he wasn't adjusting well. It was almost like either he's high or he's low. There's no balancing with him. So either he's super happy or he's gonna be super angry. He made me feel like he had changed when he really didn't. I just wanted to get me and the kids out of there. This was gonna be final. There was nothing that he can do. My final decision was to leave him. I just never got that chance. He wakes me up when I'm asleep.
Hey, get up.
He's like, you need to come in the living room. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, ugh. I'm like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't want to come in the living room.
Just leave me alone. I said, get up.
And then he said it again, but it was the tone of his voice, the way he said it. And it was like, I know I needed to come in the living room.
Keep walking.
So I get up, and then when I come in there, my son is standing by the table. He pulls out a big bag of zip ties, probably like big like this. And he proceeds to tell my son, like, I want you to put these on your mom.
Turn around, put your hands behind you.
My son was like, wait, Greg, wait.
Can we talk about this? Tie her up.
And then that's when Greg pulls a gun out. He's just like, man, just do what I said.
I said, tie her up.
Channing puts the zip ties, behind my back. And I'm just quiet. I don't know if I just went into shock immediately. And I just kept thinking, like, if I'm calm, then they'll be calm, because I didn't really know what else to do. I just didn't want him to shoot my son. So then he put the zip ties on Channing too, like hands behind the back. At that moment, I didn't think he was going to shoot us or do anything like that. I just really thought he was going to take the girls and leave. That's what I was thinking in my mind. So we just complied. So then Kara comes into the living room. I can tell she was startled. I'm like looking at her, I was like, I couldn't say anything, like I was just frozen. So then, she sits down on the couch and then he zip tied her too. We're sitting there and next thing I know, he's like, go to the basement. At that moment, I just thought that if I interjected, that's gonna make him mad, and then what if he goes off and starts shooting everybody else, shoot the girls? So I just told Chadney, just do what he says. So we proceed to go to the basement. We had to lay on the ground. Duct tape around our wrists. Duct tape around our ankles. At one point, he leaves the basement, going back to the garage. I didn't know what he was doing in the garage. So me and Chadney were talking to each other and trying to come up with a plan, how we can get these zip ties and tape off.
Chad, get your hands free.
And I was like, if we can get free, there's a phone in the basement and we can call 911.
It's too tight.
And then he comes back. This time he turns the lights off. And it was dark down there, but the laundry room light was on, so it wasn't completely dark. But you're just not sure, what he's gonna do. He's not yelling. He's still talking pretty calm. And he says that he doesn't want his girls to be raised by anybody in my family, and he didn't want them to be influenced by Kara.
I'm gonna make you pay.
He was like, I'm gonna suffer for what I did to him and his girls. And then I remember hearing the gun cock. But he didn't do anything. I think he was thinking about shooting me, but he didn't. I think what he was doing was trying to build himself up to do this. Then he says to me, do you want to see the girls? So I'm shaking my head, yes, I want to see them. I thought the girls were safe while this was going on. I just thought they were still in their bed sleeping. And next thing I know, he immediately shot my daughter 2 times. I remember screaming. She looked at me like, Mom, and then it was just, her spitting up blood, gurgling, then she turned her head and it's like, you never forget that sound, gasping for air and not being able to do anything. There was nothing I can do because we're all tied up. There was no way for me to move or try to do anything. Then at some point he shot my son, and I remember my son just saying, ow, and then rolling over, and he never moved again, never said anything. Then that's when he raised the gun to me. He shot me in my foot. I didn't feel that shot, but he shot at me a second time. That's what I felt. I felt the burn. And then the next thing I know, he came to me and held my face and slashed me from side to side with the box cutter. I remember seeing blood squirt, feeling just a whole bunch of warmth. And it was just kind of like, you're in shock. But I think my body just went into immediate shutdown. The only thing I felt was the warmth of the blood, soaking through my clothes. He threw the box cutter down and he sat the gun on a stool, and then I can hear him calling 911.
Gregory, what's going on?
Yes, I killed some people in my family.
Tell me what happened.
I shot Kara and Chadney. My 2 stepkids, they're both dead.
I remember just laying there, leaning back, holding my breath. It felt like the longest hours in my life, even though it wasn't that long.
And my wife, thanks to her, I did what I did. She's a piece of work. She kept pushing the issue.
Next thing I know, the police are knocking on the door. They're announcing themselves, saying, this is the police. If anybody's here, let me know. And I'm like, I'm here. And they're like, come up. I'm like, I can't. I was like, he has me tied up.
She was the only one that survived. I cut her up. I cut her face.
Somebody came, and I remember it was a guy there trying to take the duct tape and the zip ties off. And then he was trying to find out like where I was bleeding from and trying to stop it, but they couldn't really tell because it was so much blood. And then, they put me in the EMS truck and took me to the hospital.
I just want to tell myself, man, I know I'm going to hurt for the rest of my life, and I deserve that.
In the hospital, it was like a blur. When I came to, I thought that my girls were still alive. It was around then where somebody explained to me what had happened to my girls. He killed them by carbon monoxide poisoning. Found out that Greg had, took them one by one out of their beds and placed them in the car, in the garage. But I do remember saying to people a lot, like, I need you to repeat that. I don't know what you're saying to me. Like, it wasn't sinking in. He knew I loved my kids more than I loved him. And, my kids were my world, so he wanted to take that away from me and hurt me. And plus, he knew I couldn't have kids after that. I just had a permanent procedure so I wouldn't have children. He wanted to do this to hurt me and scar me. I don't remember who I was talking to. I just remember them asking me if I wanted to see my girls. And it became even more real once they wheeled me into their room. I just saw how Chloe was just, sleeping there with her glasses, and she was, so cold. I held her hand. When I went to see Kaylee, she was warm because she was the last to go. I just never wanted to wake up. I just wanted to go to sleep and never wake up again. I couldn't really do anything but cry. Not long after seeing my girls, that's when I learned the truth about what Gregory had done to his previous wife. The whole self-defense story was a lie. His ex-wife was like 6-7 months pregnant, and he stabbed her multiple times. And I couldn't even read the whole story because it was just so sickening. I just couldn't believe this. It just felt like being in a nightmare. My dad helped Greg reintegrate when he got out of prison. I did eventually ask my dad, like, did he know? He just was saying that he didn't know the whole story. And he said that Greg had came to him and said that he accidentally killed his wife. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, why didn't you ever, mention this to me? I wouldn't have married him if you told me it wasn't okay to marry him. This is a letter that my dad wrote when Greg was up for parole. And this is something that I knew nothing about until after my kids had passed. It says, "Dear Parole Board, I greet you in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm writing this letter in support of Gregory Green. Gregory was attending our church before he was sentenced to prison. While interacting with Gregory, I've noticed a great deal of growth, and his understanding has matured quite a bit. If he was to be released, he would be welcome as a part of our church community, and whatever we could do to help him adjust, we would." It does hurt. I don't even know how to feel about my dad. I'm not here to bash him or anything. At this point in my life, I don't really deal with my dad. I don't really know how I should feel about him. I know it bothers him. I tried to get my dad to talk to me about it. You should be able to tell me how you feel on the inside. I guess he's struggling. He can't tell me. In the end, I feel like Gregory deceived our whole family as well as my dad. I don't think you ever really get past any of it. Just learn how to cope with it better. Some days are okay and other days are like hell. I miss them every day. You miss their kisses, their hugs, hearing them talk and play together, watching them grow. You miss everything that you had before. Chani graduated from a media arts school. He did graphic design. He wanted to make movies. And he would always give me like tight hugs. I really missed that. I just thought he was so handsome and, you know, very articulate and very smart guy. Life was just beginning for him. Chani was always introverted, but Kira was different. She was very social, like her mom. She loved making new friends, going places. She definitely had a lot to look forward to. She tried to be in any and everything that she could be in. On this particular page, it says, when I get older, I want to be a singer, veterinarian, pediatrician, fashion designer, including shoes, hair, nails. I also might want to have my own business, to be continued. Sincerely, Kira Allen. Coy and Kaylee, they were partners in crime. When I went to the beach, I wrote their names in the sand. Rest in heaven. I know you always wanted to go on vacation to a really nice beach, so I'm at Cocoa Beach for the both of you. I love you always. Love, Mom. And that was me talking to them to let them know that I still love them. It's been rough, really rough. You know, we have to learn the signs of abnormal behavior. We get so used to it, you know, and that's what I went through with Greg. I would just say, you know, he's always having a bad day, or, you know, he's going through this or that, or because dysfunction is kind of like the new normal, you know, so we got to learn the signs. I just plan to keep pushing and to do things to keep my children's legacy alive. In the future, I'm going to do things for them and make them happy. Even though, you know, they're not here, but I know they would want me to be happy and not give up.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I was going to give like a backstory before this video, but I was like, it would be better if I just, you know, just give commentary after, all right? After people will listen to it. Now, a lot of you people probably heard about this story, about this lady, where can I start? It's so much to say about this. Okay. This lady, right? This is a lady who met this guy. Y'all heard her tell the story, right? The guy was in prison, okay, for unaliving his first wife, and she was pregnant, okay? All right. This lady right here, now, I knew the story prior to this, but I just found out the other day, you know, because I never saw this interview, right? I followed this story a long time ago, like watched everything about it, but I didn't even know the details of some of the things that she had admitted in this interview. Like, I didn't know she knew this guy prior to meeting him. She had already bumped into him. She admitted that she had a crush on him when she was 14 and he was at the church. You know, then all of a sudden something happened, right? And he went away, right? She got older and he came back to the church. So her dad was a pastor, and I guess her dad will go to different prisons to preach and minister to the inmates. And that's how he ran into this guy again or whatever. And the guy became a member of his church or whatever the case may be, right? What I don't get is, right, I don't understand how, and then she's blaming this on her father, right? This man ended up, you know, getting married with her, right? All right. Having 2 kids with her, the new one, right? After he got out of prison, because the dad helped him get out of prison, her dad. Even though they knew him back in the days, you know, he went to the church, right? something happened, life goes on, then you bump into somebody you ain't seen this. Hey, how you doing? Oh, wow. Hey, how's it going? And they, whatever they was doing, they done got into whatever they got into. And then now you bumping into them again. So Dad helps him, I guess because he knew him from when he was going to his church then, to get out of prison, right? He wrote a letter to them, and on his behalf to say, he shouldn't be in jail no longer. He should, he's a changed man, this, that, and the other, whatever, okay? I guess he was granted parole. He was granted parole, and he got out, and she ended up being with him. They had 2 kids, okay? And she had her own 2 kids prior to this. How in the hell do you not go? She keeps blaming this on her father. How do you not, how do you as a grown woman, right? Us as women are curious, right? How do you just accept a story of him telling you something about his past and when he about the reason why he was locked up for so long, and you just accept his story without doing any research about it to validate that? I just don't understand that. This lady has pissed me off, you guys. Just bear with me. I'm trying to get through it without scrambling, rambling, or whatever. You blaming this on your dad because your dad, your dad didn't put no gun in your hand and tell you to marry this damn man. Your dad didn't force you to marry him. Your dad is not in Afghanistan or nothing where you got the, we're going to pick the husband for you, and, this is who you're going to marry. I'm going to pick your husband. Like this is not that. These are African Americans. You had a choice. Our parents introduce us to people in life. That don't mean that we have to go and date them if we don't like them and it's something. And she done already told on herself anyway in the beginning of the damn video, because she already said that she had a crush on him. She thought he was very handsome when she was 14 and he 10 years older than her. So you sitting here looking at this damn man at 14 at your church. You already had a crush on him. When you seen him again, you was like, oh, wow, there you go again. He's still handsome. So all this blaming this on your daddy, you was lustful too in this situation, right? Desperate, no telling. Something got to be wrong. And I hate to go in on her like this when it's tragic, but something got to be wrong with her. She got to be slow. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just can't have no sympathy for her, man. This shit pissed me off. She had all the red flag, How do you not? So before you go and actually marry somebody, you don't want to find out everything you can about them? What if he was in jail for you know what I'm saying? Doing something to a little kid or something, you bringing this man, you moving him in your house, knowing he had did this time in prison. And you thought it was for nothing. He said that it was just for something. I really didn't, my dad didn't tell me. So you just want your dad to do all that. Even if, the dad, you look at him some type of way too, but that's on you. You the one who's sleeping in the bed, effing and sucking and all that, and having kids with him and marrying him. Your dad ain't got to live with this man and have kids with him and sleep with him and all this stuff. That showed us you a grown ass woman. And she mad at her dad, and she don't talk to her dad. She don't know how to feel about her dad because he should have told her. He should have found out. Girl, are you serious? I'm listening to this shit like this man ended up taking all of the damn kids' lives and said that he did it, y'all. Okay? Just so she can suffer. All the red flags was there. You could hear it all throughout the video. She just shrugging one red flag off after another just shrugging it off. Oh, he did that, but, I just thought it was this. Oh, yeah, and then he had did that, and then I was like, oh, maybe he's having a bad day. Oh, and then, he had did this, and I was wondering, that's pretty strange. Oh, maybe I'm tripping. Oh, and then he had did this other thing right here, and then I was like, oh, oh, well. She's giving red. If there ain't, she got the world's Guinness records of red flags that she had. Yeah, and then another one was, she said it was kind of weird, because he was real quiet. Now, I can understand. She said, I can understand if, you're just quiet because you just, quiet sometimes and you just, want to watch TV or something like that. But with him, it was strange. He was extremely quiet to the point to where she was trying to say it was very uncomfortable. Like, this man just quiet. And you marrying him. You marrying this man and having kids with him. But I just can't get over the fact that she did not go and find out this is finna be your husband and you don't want to know the truth about who he is, what was he telling the truth even before you dating him. Now I can understand when he's your husband. Okay, you like, okay, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's my husband, through thick and thin. But prior to marrying him, you're not trying to find out these things to avoid. You're not trying to. You just take everything he say, you just believe in him. And you just bring this man around your damn kids. The kids that you had prior to the ones you had with him. You wasn't even thinking about them. Then she even said, which pissed me off, was her daughter even caught on to something not being right about him. Lady. Now, us as parents are the ones to have the certain instincts, mom, that kick in where, like my daughter 19, if she introduced me to somebody, I know right away if it's long term, short term, like or not like her, we just got that in us to know right away if something ain't right, and then we be right half of the time us as parents. That's what we do. God gave us that gift as mothers. She's sitting here talking about her daughter was the one. The whole role switched. Her daughter had the something not right about this when she should have had the it's something ain't right about this. Then talking about I don't know why my daughter wouldn't tell me. And she reading the daughter diary. The daughter telling and putting in her diary the oldest daughter who was 16, right? Yeah, something's weird with him. And my mom's obsessed with him. Now, us as Black parents, we know that growing up with our parents, we really, couldn't speak on how we felt or express our feelings to a certain extent, right? So I tried to change that as me being a parent to my children, right? I want them to express how they feel, right? I want them to express it. We like dialoguing. We like coming up with solutions. We like, okay, what about this? What about that? Okay, what about, yeah. We didn't do that growing up. We know in that generation, you just couldn't do that. So I think that she was that type of parent as well, where she's sitting here questioning, well, I want to know why my daughter didn't feel comfortable enough to come and tell me this. Now, you know damn well if your daughter would have came to you and told you what she wrote in her diary, Mom, something wrong with him, like you're obsessed with him, she probably would have got backhanded. Okay, I don't believe that this mom made them feel comfortable enough like that to express certain things like that, especially if she making stupid, gullible, naive ass situations with just letting any man that she not researching, don't care about, believe everything he say, and just go with what he say and shit and have kids with him and all this other stupid ass shit. You can't tell me that she's just sitting here. Just from that alone, just tells me I understand why her kids didn't come to her and talk to her stupid ass. Okay? Just that alone. Daughter sitting there saying mom's obsessed. You getting on here talking about you had a crush on her. You getting on here talking about, yeah, he looked real good and I just wanted to work it out and this, that, and the other. Is it that bad? It is a million men in this world, ladies. What are we doing? Like, is it that serious? To where you have to bring this, and then I just decided to move him in my house. That's another red flag. This a grown ass man. Why is you moving him in your house with your kids? And then want to blame your daddy. Well, he said everything was all right. So, I just took his word for it. Lady, are you serious? Y'all, I am so sorry. Listen, y'all don't even know what I really... What I really want to say, I can't say it. I don't have to get on live probably to do that one. Because I want to go in on her ass. I can't. They going to give me a strike, community guidelines strike. Listen, y'all, I want to go smooth off on her ass, y'all. I'm telling you I do. But I'm sitting here trying. This man Okay. Pretty much does the same thing he did with the first wife. After he did that to his first wife, in the story that she said she finally found out after the kids had been unalived by him, 4 kids. Then the 2 of them that he did it in front of her. Now imagine them kids there. Imagine the daughter who always knew that there was something wrong. Something ain't right about him. The day he called her down to the basement and hog tie or whatever, tie her, imagine her like, I knew it. But it's too damn late. Because your stupid ass mama, all right? Yeah, with her slow ass. Just wanted a man on her side. Just wanted a man on her side. What is wrong with us? Now, it'd be different if there was no red flags. There were red flags all throughout her, prior to her getting, moving them in. I mean, after, then she said they broke up for 2 years. Then she went back. She's sitting here. I didn't hear no, logical, right, reasons as to what he did for her to go back. The only thing that she said was, yeah, I thought he said he wanted to be a family man again. Yeah. And, he was being nice and, he was communicating more with me. And yeah, and he was real nice. And yeah, I said, okay, he's changed. Let him go and move right back in. That was enough for you to do that? I mean, ladies, like we ain't got no backbone here. I mean, like, are we just falling for any damn thing? You not putting your foot down at all. And you got kids? I wish I would. Like she got to be slow. Now imagine them kids. Now before you went back to him, I'm pretty sure that them kids, her teens, right? Because when they passed, one was 19, one was 16, and then the other was his, and they were 3 and 4. But I'm pretty sure them teens was like, we going back? I'm pretty sure they had something to say. I'm pretty sure when they knew he was coming back and this going to be a family again, that even a body language, that's our job as parents, is to notice these things. Okay? All right. Even if our kids ain't talking to us, we have to notice and catch on to certain changes in our children. You so busy looking at him, Googling, eyeing after his Ninja Turtle on the face looking ass, that you sit here just ignoring the signs of your kids kind of like crying out for like, why are we going back with him? I'm pretty sure that they was uncomfortable with that. I'm pretty sure that they wasn't happy with that decision. But no, since us as black parents and they kids, they gonna do what I say. I ain't listening to them. They gonna listen to me. Yeah, I'm the boss. I'm the sergeant. You do what I say type of fucking attitudes and shit. You gonna do what I say because I'm the grown parent. This, that, and you're not even giving your kids a choice or even listening to them. No respect at all, right? At all. Giving they input. They can't give an input on what they, feel and nothing at all. That's the type of parent you was. You just running right back to his ass without even sitting down, having a meeting with your kids about it. Like, how do y'all think about that? Like, I know that's a big change for us because we've been alone for 2 years, by ourselves since we split up. So I don't want to jump right back into some, you know what I mean? Like, and even if you don't want to get into that dialogue or something serious like that with your kids, then you should know as a parent yourself that change like that and just keep going back and forth to something like that is not healthy for your fucking kids. You're not on drugs. You're not out here look like you on crack or anything like that. You got your normal state of mind, but yet you sitting here acting like you slow as hell and shit. Oh, well, I didn't know. Yeah, and everything I did. And yeah, I just did it. And, everything was all right. And yeah, and I didn't. Like, if I was her family, I wouldn't. She want to walk around with the attitude talking about she mad at her daddy. I'd be mad at her motherfucking ass. Yeah. You got your nerves. I don't know why my daddy didn't tell me. I don't know why he didn't tell me what was going on, this, that, and the other. He ain't got to tell you. You a grown-ass woman. You the one sucking and fucking this damn man and having kids with him. You the one got to deal with his ass. Your daddy is somewhere else taking care of his own wife, your mama, okay, and living his own life, pastoring the church, living his life, his home, and having to help the community and all this stuff that he doing. You need to do, your dad can't sit there and just hold your hand all throughout the whole goddamn process. That you made that fucking decision. Is you serious? Then her daughter is too late. Her daughter probably like, I told you, like, and it's too late. Cause I'm already down in the fucking basement hogtied. And he didn't like the kids from the start. She even said that the mom, this lady even hinted towards that, telling her story. That he really wasn't even into them like that. She shrugged that off too. Oh, well, you want me to get rid of... They were at some eating. He was like, oh, it need to just be us. Why can't it just be all four of us instead of the other two kids? She telling the story of him telling her this. Why it just can't be us four? I wish it was just us four. Now, what man says that? Now, if a man thinking that, right, he gonna just keep that in his damn mind. He ain't finna be stupid enough to tell me no stupid ass shit like that. Yeah, what man just comfortable enough to tell your slow ass some shit like this? Who just thinks to say that and not just keep that in your head? Something you just don't even say. And he telling you this. And your response to him is, well, it's not going to be like that. Yeah, it's not going to be like that. Yeah, what do you mean it's not going to be like that? It's going to be all of us. What do you want me to do? You want me to just give my kids away, to get rid of my... What? With your slow ass? That was another fucking red flag that added on to the 100 list of red flags that this damn man was giving her stupid ass. Something got to be wrong with her. It gotta be. There is no way in hell. And then, even listening to her story when she got on the stand, I didn't play that part, right? But she even, look it up, right? Gregory Green's story, Gregory Green or something like that, right? Look it up, right? I'll put it in the comments so y'all can, if y'all want to go, look at the other parts of it to catch on to the story or whatever. When it's time for him to go get sentenced, she comes up, right? And she's like, you want me to cry? They got to read their statements. Just even looking at that, I got pissed off at her ass. I totally just got irritated with her. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And of course you want to feel bad for her because, this is what happened to her kids. Any parent, we know us. Oh my God. I would go nuts. Like I wouldn't, So you have that, you want to have that sympathy for her, but after you hear her stupid ass, all right, say all these things where she could have avoided this, it just piss you off. Well, you have no sympathy for her whatsoever, man. It's hard to. She gets on the stand. I know you want me to cry, but I'm not going to cry. Exactly how I'm saying it. She's saying it like this, y'all, okay? I'm not putting extras on it. I know, but I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to give you that satisfaction at all. I'm going to be happy because, you wanted me to be miserable. And, so-and-so love life and they love to go camping and my son loved to go to the basketball games and my daughter, she loved to go to school. You took that away from me and my little baby who loved to bake cookies with me. Yeah. You know what? I'm listening to this stupid ass lady, and she's telling the story. And she's like, oh, I'm so tired of crying. I'm tired. I'm not. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother fucking show. That's a whole nother show. I ain't even finna get into, people grieve there. I'm not even about to get into that. Then she kept saying she had memory loss. If you go look at the other show, the crime shows of her and the detectives talking about it, she says time after time after time again that she doesn't remember anything. She has memory loss. So when I saw this last night, y'all, because I had seen the other ones, I ain't seen this one, the updated one, right? Of her actually coming out speaking about this shit, right? Telling the story, right? Then all of a sudden she got I'm like, oh, so now she know all the details? She know all the details. Like people were saying, maybe she cried, they cut that part out or whatever. Okay, why would they cut that out? Why would they cut that out? Look, they wouldn't even been able to get through an interview with me saying this. All right? Okay? All right? Yeah, it would have maybe took a whole motherfucking 6 months for me to, you know what I mean, to just, you would have seen me in different outfits on there, clipping it, different scene, because I wouldn't have been able to do it all at one time. I wouldn't have. Now, we have some times where we not crying, where we can't cry, right? But as soon as we think about something that hurts us so much like that, it's just unbearable. You just have to. You just have to. You don't care what you just want to cut it out. Like, fuck all that. No, show my raw emotions. Yeah, okay? She wasn't crying like that. Now, am I saying that she don't feel bad for what happened to her kids or anything like that? I don't know. This lady seems slow to me, to tell you the truth. Something wrong with her. Even prior to all this happening to her. Something is wrong with her. I wouldn't wish this on nobody in the world, but damn, lady, this man had unalived his first wife, called the police, said, come pick me up, and he sat down with you and told you that it was an accident. Yeah, he sat down with me and I told him we need to talk about it. And he said, he just said that it was an accident and stuff, and they had got into it and she fell, and yeah, he said that it was an accident and stuff. And I didn't want to bring it up no more because I didn't want him to get mad. This is what she said. Y'all listen to her. Y'all heard the same video that I'm commenting on afterwards. That's why I wanted to do it after. So I just believe I just said that, just believe what he said. That's what it was. And my daddy didn't tell me anything. Lady, really? If you tell me you was in prison, all right? Because I was in prison. It was an accident, though. I'm just going to take your word for that? Hell no. I'm nosy. I'm about to look that up. You just not even looking it up. Girl, get the fuck. You got to be lying. You got to be lying. Come on, man. You got to be lying. You got to be lying. And then he do the same thing to you. Then not only that, your mind don't click in from all these different red flags throughout the years that you been with him. Oh, something seemed weird about him. Then he did that to his wife. Then his wife fell and shit. And then later on, I'm seeing these different signs in him. Like, something ain't right about this. Let me look him up. Let me see if that's true about what he said. Them red flags and the different things that he was doing that she named in the damn video right here, that didn't even prompt you to be like, let me go, to be curious or nosy or proud. Huh? But no, we want to go look and be nosy when we know we think he cheating. Yeah, we want to get in everything. We want to look through the phone. We want to see the messages. We want to see, this. Let me look in the car, any hair strands, anything. Yeah, huh? We want to smell you when you come home. But you don't want to pry and know nothing about it. You take his word for it when it comes to him being in prison. He said that was an accident, though. You just going to go on and take his word for it. Girl, get the fuck up out of here. Like, come on, man, y'all. This story crazy than a mother. Y'all, mothers, we need to get it together, man. It's not that serious. It's really not that fucking serious, man. At all. At all. Just to have a man. You know how many men? You're not ugly. You know what I'm saying? Something got to be wrong with you inside, though, for you to just choose somebody. Like, y'all had to do my commentary. I had to get that out. I had to say this. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this story. Tell me what y'all think. All right. Okay. Listen to her. Just listen. And if you got to go and listen to it again after you hear this to understand what I'm saying, then go do that too. But I had to share this story, man. This shit's crazy.